welcome to the last edition of Wednesday special for the season. Next week will be brand new Bloom Burrows cards. So sorry if the camera's a little off. I did have to move it because I did move my computer to the other side of my desk. So let's see. I'm hoping that it's not too bad. Let me know down in the comment section if it's that bad. So we're gonna be playing some Azorius Flash today in Pioneer. Hope that this deck did get a 5-0, so I'm playing it and seeing how this deck actually can function, compete in current Pioneer format. Because it is interesting that we don't really have a Flash deck in the format. And I really haven't got a chance to play Urdent and Gahada, so I'm kind of interested to see how that goes. If you like this series, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you're for future videos. We're on our way to 1,000 subs. Let's get there together. Let's get into the deck list and see the deck in action. So the deck list here, we have 2 Wandering Emperors main, 2 side for the mid-range matchups. We have 4 Cunning Nightbonders as a way to discount our Emperors and our other Flash stuff, which is very interesting as a idea, I guess. We have a Containment Priest because Vein Ripper is just Soaring combo is pretty powerful, pretty dominant still. We have Interrupter plus Spell Queller for pseudo counters, right? For our Flash effects. We have No More Lies for additional counters, and a little bit more counters on the board with Dovin's Veto and Dispute. We also have some Wrath type functionality in the board with Settle the Wreckage. But for creatures main, we do have Fairy Mastermind and Malcolm. These are pretty solid 2-drops, potentially even a 1-drop if we have Cunning Nightbonder down. We have Gahada as a way for extra card advantage, quote unquote. We have Bodyguard for a little bit of removal and a creature spot. Deafening Silence is pretty good against Phoenix and Lotus Field, stuff like that. Containment Priest for the quote unquote Sword Vampire matchup. Denick for aggro. We have Dovin's Veto and Dispute. Veto is more for control and combo, and then Dispute is more for just for control. We have Flanker for Graveyard Hate / gain some life, surprise blocker, I guess. And like I said, Emperors for control and mid-range. That is the deck we're trying out today. Let's see if this deck has what it takes to compete in the Pioneer format. Let's get into it. Do we play Waste, they go? Island. Passes. Pathway on blue, say go. Hall. Passes. We attempt to play a Fairy Mastermind. Deserted Beach. Go to combat. Shove in there for 2. Pass the turn. Plays an plane, so this is probably blue-white control. Play a priest. Play a land. Attack for 4. Pass the turn. Okay. I can't do nothing about it. Take 2. Pass the turn. Castle Hardened Vale. Play a Malcolm. Okay, we untap. Continue just playing lands and attacking and passing until he has something to interact with me. So it takes 4. Puts a counter. Get rid of the Bodyguard. Pass. No More Lies, so it gets exiled. Island, okay. What do you got? Spell Queller. We're doing quite well. Passes. Go to combat. Shove. So this Aven Interrupter just needs to hold us off one more turn. And then we should win. I don't need a Hollow Fountain. Pass. Get Lost. Well, Aven Interrupter. Another Get Lost. Okay. So that means we still get the Aven Interrupter. We'll play a Fairy Mastermind. Crack a map. A land. Not great. Crack a map. Another land. Go to combat. Shove in there. Pass the turn. So essentially 1 removal spell is not enough. Got game 1. So we bring in Wandering Emperor. Dispute, and Veto. We go down Containment Priest, Bodyguards. Is there anything else we could bring in? Maybe a Dinnick. I don't like that. Deserted Beach. Tap Hollow Fountain. Say go. Play the Plains. Put that on blue. And attempt to pass. Aurora. Play Nightbonder. Probably eats a counterspell. Absorb. So we just play a land and pass. Castle. And passes. Plains and say go. So we could definitely try the Cunning Mage or Nightbonder again. Plays another Plains. Attempt to cast another Nightbonder. Get Lost. Interrupter. It can't be countered, so that's nice. Deserted Beach. Go to combat. Shove in there for 4. And pass. Supreme Verdict. Aven Interrupter. And passes. That's kind of a base draw. Go to combat, shove. Pass the turn. Spell Queller. And we'll eat the Supreme Verdict. And passes, looks like. So we just go to combat. Attempt to attack you for 8. Pass the turn. So he needs like what here? We have 2 counter spells, like pseudo counter spells. Yeah. No more lies. Pays it. Dispute. Got there. 1-0 against control. Sweet. Tap Hollow Fountain. Say go. Sacred Foundry. So probably an aggressive deck. Play a Waste. Say go. Hub. Okay. You got me intrigued. Ginger. Also interesting. Play Deserted Beach. Go and get Frisky. For 2. Say goo. Wreckage. Boomaka, y'all. Goes to combat. Shoves in there. Play Bodyguard. Eat the Sir Ginger. Shrapnel Blast to pop the Bodyguard. Okay. Take 4. Snipe your threat. Shove. Say go. So now we're even again. We're drawing way too many lands, though. Smitty. Okay. I dig it. These map tokens are not great. Go to combat. Shove. Say you. We're taking 4 on the backswing. That's kind of bad. You can tap my maps. Drum. Take 5. Draw an extra card. And untap. Interrupter. That's interesting. Kill the gnome. Shove. Say go. She probably taps down all his maps. And flips this. Overseer. Aven Interrupter. And a Steel Seraph. Which means I can't even attack now. Pass the turn. We're on the chumping part of the plan now. Overseer. We'll play our Fairy Mastermind. Turns on a Foundry. Gives it some sort of ability. Why didn't you just give the gnome token flying or lifelink? So we'll block and block. So he pumps himself. Draw a couple cards. We untap. Another land. He has 2 gnomes. So this is 3. We do have 2 blockers, but that's probably not enough. Malcolm. Pay into Mastermind. Block and block. We're trying to put up a fight here, but Not looking so great. Another Steel Seraph. So we play Bodyguard. Eat a token. Pass. I'm just going to say we're dead, right? I guess we bring in these. Down Containment Priest. That does not destroy an artifact or enchantment. So run it like that. Anchorage, say go. Forge. And a drum. Play a Hollow Fountain, say go. Ginger Brute. Some mana. Another Ginger Brute. Alright, so we play Mastermind. And take 1 point of damage. Another Spell Queller. So we shock ourselves. Go to combat. Shove. Say go. Forge. Overseer. Spell Queller. Another Drum. And a Courier. So we play the Sanitarium. Go ahead and smack you for 4. And pass the turn. Goes to combat. Shoves in there. Take it. Play another Mastermind. Untap. Go to combat. Shove in there. For 6. Pass the turn. It's like a Shrapnel Blast. The Queller. Play another Queller. So now we have Lethal. Passes. Go to combat. Shove in there. Okay, that definitely... Maybe I should have turned on the Anchorage. Play Interrupter. Then I gotta sacrifice another artifact. You're at 1. Got game 2. Run it back. Ronin. Hits me for 2. Coast, you. So that is probably more in there just to keep sprocking. Then again, that's red mana. So it doesn't really work with a 1000 Smitty because I think that only taps for white mana. So we untap. We just pass. There's a Ronin. But I guess it does combo with Automaton. Patchy. Courier. Shoves in there. Play Nightbonder. Block the Courier. I guess shove in there. We are going to lose because of land issues, I think. There's a Ronin. Attempt to No More Lies. Steel Overseer. Shoves in there for 5. We're at 6. We just pass. Play Malcolm. And we block. Steel Seraph. Okay, I think that seals it. Yeah, especially if we're not freaking drawing lands, man. Bodyguard. Take the Seraph. Portable Hole. Eats my Nightbonder. We have to block. And Shrapnel Blast, sure. Yeah, we just could not beat that. 1 and 1, it's getting the next. Elf. Interesting. Okay. So, Hollow Fountain tap, say go. Another Cavern. Leaf Crown Visionary and a Sentinel. This deck might get a lot better with the brand new land from the new set. We shall see. These No More Lives are really horrible. Double Cavern. These are never doing anything. Essentially has 4 mana available. 2 creatures, 2 lands. There is an argument for Get Losting the Visionary, but a Tomb. This is a Cord. Coco. I will counter that. Hits me for 3. I deserve that for countering a spell. We go to 17. We pass. An opponent probably thinks we're just blue-like control. Joke's on you, opponent. We would never touch that deck on this channel. Another Visionary. Draws a card. Goes to combat. Attacks. Nightbonder. Malcolm. Definitely block the Lord. Take 3. Down to 14. Seems like my best move. Temple Garden tapped. That's a good sign. It means he has too many lands. We play another land. Shove in there. Another Leaf Crown Visionary. Draws a card. Another Sentinel. And draws a card. Attacks again. Nightbonder number 2. Fairy Mastermind. We block. We just pass. I can't. No, wait a minute. This is a 1-2. I shove a Cunning. Takes it. Pass. Plays an Elite. Plays a Beseju. Goes to combat. Attacks him with 2 Sentinels. Play a Bodyguard. Eat the Lord. Block a Sentinel. Looks like a Cord. So we get lost the Lord. Put that on white. Shove in there. Coco. Counter it. You can actually pay for it. If we can get him to tap down, that'd be ideal. Haven Interrupter. Tomb. Passes. Alright, so that's another flyer. So I think I can't win this turn. But just shove with the flyers. And pass. You play as Coco. Shaman of the Pact. That's a decent chunk of damage. We're at 7. Yep, that resolves. Oh, he gets a Bodyguard. Do you eat my Bodyguard? I might be just dead, actually. The Shaman of the Pact. Yeah, that's lethal. Okay. So we go down, no more lies. Subtle, Emperor, down. Actually, Containment Priest is fine, right? Just not probably a full plate, not 3 of them. And this is not a grindy matchup, so cut that and run it like that. Pathway, say go. Cavern. Pathway on white, say go. Cavern on elf. I guess I could have seen that one coming, right? So many caverns again. Another elf. Oh. And a Sentinel. And passes. We play waste, say go. Elite. Got nothing. Shoves in there. Looks like he has a Lord. And to play Spellqueller. I do not need to be getting drained. Can't have a repeat of last game. No lands, so we just pass. Another Elite. Yeah. Thankfully he hasn't found the Butter Elite. The 2-drop War Caller. Or War Master, I think. One of the two. This looks like a Bodyguard inbound. Turns on the Mutavault. We play Bodyguard. Oh, you can't exile other wolves. Got it. I guess eat an Elite. Well, that sucks. I should have just... No werewolves. Werefoxes. And he drains me. I'm taking a beating this turn. 7. Could attack for 5. I really need a land for this Settle the Wreckage. He has no cards in hand, which is really good. So he swings in with those 2. I'm definitely blocking the Mutable. Like, set him back a land, I will. And yeah, he makes more tokens. The Cellar Wreckage might undo a lot of that, though. Play Deserted Beach, say go. We are at 5. If somehow he top decks Shaman, he wins, but that's a land, so that's good. You should not attack out with everything. If I was the opponent, I would attack out with just enough to be lethal. And he fell for the Settle the Wreckage trap. By Wandering Emperor. I guess I'm starting on the B-down plan. Smack ya. There's the War Master. Put another counter. Get frisky. Pass the turn. So now you're at 13. Drew another land. That's good. Does not attack. Containment Priest. Play Malcolm. Say go. Or untap. Grow the Malcolm. Go to combat. Shove. Shove. Hit you for 7. Get rid of a Malcolm. Play a Denick. Say go. Got game 2. Run it back. There's a Courtyard and an Elf. Play a Fountain tap. Say go. I had no idea the opponent is in the red. Another Elf. Play the Lord. And shoves in there for 2, I assume. Take it. To 18. That could be the deal breaker right there. Denick. Say go. Unclaimed Territory. To eat my Denick. So he's going to draw a card. So we play that untapped. Night Bonder. Priest. Say go. Not a bad top deck for us. Another Lord for him. And a War Cat. War Master. Attacks. Take it. Play the land. Say go. If all else fails, we could always just Emperor plus Malcolm. Elite. And it looks like we might be winning this game by timeout. Like I said, this Cellar Wreckage I think would have sealed his fate anyways. Since he is depleted on cards. And we would get back a Denick and so on. Like, there's not a lot of cards he could have done at this point. So he makes a bunch of dorks. Shoves in there for 2 and 1. Let's get into the wrap up. So what do we want to speak about this deck overall? Like, somehow we managed to get a timeout win with a deck that you would struggle with time itself, right? This is basically a very strict control-ish tempo deck. I think it's more controlled in its tempo just because of the fact that our creatures are relatively expensive on the curve versus something like Spirits, which is even more, I would say, aggressive than this version. But somehow we still managed to pull off a couple wins. Like I said, I don't really think the Elf matchup was going to be that bad just because of the fact that we had a Cellar Wreckage and a Wandering Emperor. They probably couldn't have beaten that, to be frank, with their current board state and getting their best cards exiled, getting back our Denick, and so on. So, if there's any cards you guys would have considered for this list, let me know down in the comment section. What brand new cards from Bloomburrow do you think would be good in this list? But I guess you could argue that the new bird could be pretty interesting because Interrupter and Gahada and Malcolm and Mastermind are all flyers. 4 of them are birds. I don't think, is Malcolm a bird? Siren Pirate. Yeah, so there's only one other bird, which could be enough to help, Sprock the key pieces there. So I kind of think that could be a potential here. So we have Interrupter plus the new Swan. Could be pretty reasonable blinking or stuff, which is pretty good. But until next time, where we will be playing brand new Bloomburrow cards. Except for Friday, technically is not new, right? Because it's the last actual episode of the season. But I'm happy I already recorded that one. So come back for that, and then I'll see you in the next season. Talk to you soon.